Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Myself Shriyari. In today's video, I will break down IPO analysis step by step. I will explain what an IPO is and what you should do before investing in an IPO and the key things to check before applying for an IPO. This video will help you to understand how IPO analysis actually works. So make sure you watch till the end. Now, first let us understand what an IPO is. An IPO stands for Initial Public Offering. IPO means when a private company offers its shares to the public for the first time and gets listed on the stock exchange. This process is called as Initial Public Offering. In simple words, company raises money from the investors for its business needs. Now let us see what you should read before investing in an IPO. Before investing in an IPO, there are few important documents which every investor must look at. The most important one is DRHP or RHP documents. These documents are official IPO documents of the company. These documents contains the business risk and why the company is coming with an IPO. Apart from this, you should also look at the company's financial statements and the profit and loss of the company and the risk factors involved in the company. So this IPOs, RHP and DRHP documents talks about beyond the company's headlines. Now let us go through things to check before investing in an IPO. Before investing in an IPO, there are few important things which every investor must look at. Firstly, the business model. First and the most important thing in an IPO is that checking in business model. Business model usually has scalability and clear revenue structures. The business model should have a long-term demand and must generate a long-term revenue that creates a positive sign to investors to invest in that business. You should clearly understand what does the company does and what it sells. The business model is the important thing to check before investing in an IPO. The next important thing to understand what is the reason behind company issuing IPO to the public. This means why is the company raising money from the public? Usually it indicates for betterment of the business or for expansion of the business or for meeting their working capital needs. However, if a large amount of IPO is being spent on their repaying their existing debts, it shows leverages. It creates risk in investments. So investors should avoid this type of IPOs. Another key thing to check before investing in an IPO is company's financial performance. This shows how the company has performed over the last few years and check the profits are growing along with their revenue and also the overall growth of the last 3 years. Consistent growth indicates positive side for investors to invest in that coming IPO. Another important thing to check before investing in an IPO is promoters and management of the company. Promoters are the people who started the company and are responsible for long-term directions of the business. And also check how much the promoters are holding after the IPOs. Look at the promoters' past experiences, past performance. A strong management team usually helps in betterment of the company in the future. After evaluating the promoters and management of the company, the final thing to check is the risk factors. Risk factors highlights the possible challenges that the company may face in the future. The risk may be related to business regulations or for dependency on customer or for any kind of business conflicts. And also, it is very important to check whether the promoters or management of the company has any kind of legal or regulatory cases against them. So these were the few important things to keep in mind before investing in an IPO. So far, we have discussed the key things to keep in mind before investing in an IPO. Now, let us analyze the upcoming IPO, that is Biopol's Chemical Limited. Let's go. We are not going to read the entire RHP document line by line. Instead, we will focus on the key points which are beneficial from the investor's point of view. Now let's begin with business models of Biopol Chemical Limited. Biopol Chemical Limited operates in the chemical segment where the business is engaged in manufacturing and supplying of chemicals. At a high level, the company earns revenue by producing chemicals and sells it to the customers based on industry demand and usage. Now let us understand what kind of a product the Biopol Chemical Limited deals with. The Biopol Chemical Limited operates in a chemical segment where it follows business to business relationship and supplying chemical products to industrial customers. In such business, the customer relationship and consistent demands plays an important role. By this process, the business manufactures and sells its products to industrialized customers. Now let us see why did Biopol Chemical Limited is coming into IPO. The Biopol Chemical Limited is coming into IPO to raise funds from the public in order to increase their business operations and for future growth plans. A part of its proceeding is expected to be used for operational needs and for strengthening the financial positions of the Biopol company. Now let us see about the financial performance of the Biopol's Chemical Limited. The Biopol Chemical Limited had a significant growth in the fiscal year 2024 was around roughly 17.4 crores and in the fiscal year 2025 it has jumped to around 49.1 crores. Profit after tax also rose from 2.96 crores to 4.33 crores. In the 9 months end December 2025, the profit is already 6 crores. This shows strongly the business is growing in the recent past years. Now let us see about the risk factors of the Biopol Chemical Limited. The Biopol Chemical Limited has mainly risk factors like dependency on few customers and dependency on textile sector and vulnerable towards the price changes. And it is also duty of an investors to ensure that the promoters have a clean and a legal background before investing. Now let us look at the promoters of Biopol Chemical Limited. The promoters are Mr. Vedant Sarkar and Mr. Shantanu Sarkar, a chemical engineer. The fact is that the promoters have no legal or regulatory cases against them, which adds credibility to the business. Now let us take a look at the IPO dates of the Biopol Chemical Limited. The Biopol Chemical Limited IPO opens on 6th February 2026 and closes on 10th February 2026. Allotment is made on 11th February and the listing is made on 13th February. So by this we conclude. So that was the detailed explanations of the Biopol Chemical Limited. Remember, this video is only for educational purpose only. Always do your own research before investing in an IPO. And if you found this video helpful, informative, so please hit a like, share, subscribe button and press bell icon so that you don't miss our updates on IPO and stock market. Thank you.